Okay, folks, off and away we go. This is episode 1473. It's Blind Magic in Alice Springs, and I am your presenter and host, Murray Stewart. Not feeling all that well today, folks. Yeah, a bit of a boom crash opera around here. I've had a couple of big hits. Yeah, bang, bang on the wall with my head a couple of times. And as I don't feel all that well this morning, and I also went to the shopping centre the other day, and I thought I might have, I think I might have caught something because a bit of a sore throat this morning. Anyway, grumble, grumble, carry on. I was listening to Damien Martin this morning talking about, post his episode with meningitis over the Christmas break, talking about how fragile life is, and indeed it is. And also talking about how precious time is. Once again, a very, very true statement. Now, he was placed into an induced coma for 8 days after contracting, if you like, the meningitis. And yes, he was a very, very sick boy. And reflecting on that statement about how fragile life is, it absolutely is. I did an episode some time back now, and I said we're a couple of minutes away from something life-changing. All of us are. Yeah, we are. Only a couple of minutes away, folks. Within a couple of minutes, our life could change forever. And so mine did on that day back in, where were we, 2022? Yeah, it did. It absolutely changed forever with this ABI that I now have, as well as my vision impairment. Talking about the fragility of life and also how precious time is, all of that sort of stuff, I always try and look for the positives. And in my case, I look for where I can learn new skills and improve as a human. Yeah, that's what I look to do, and that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. With my vision impairment, I did and have emphasized on this podcast many times. In fact, it was the very reason for this podcast series, Blind Magic in Alice Springs. Yeah, I've emphasized the benefits of vision impairment. It's taken me a while, but I now have begun to realize the benefits of having this brain injury. And I think the main benefits in and around my temperament. Yeah, that's right, my temperament. And believe you me, I've been on a bit of a roller coaster there with a lot of the medications that are meant to settle my ABI into a period of medical stability where I don't have a situation arise where I'm undergoing a seizure. Yeah, in that some of those medications can be very mind-bending, I can assure you, and can even bring about quite a marked change in my temperament. So I am working very, very hard at making sure that my temperament remains stable. If I look at my way as a coach, no one could say that I'm a yeller and a screamer when I'm coaching. No, that's not been my style. I've always been someone who tries to build someone up rather than, kick them when they're down. When they are down, it's time for them to settle, to contemplate, and then it's time for a discussion. Yes, when someone puts in a less than good performance on the track, they know it before you do. They absolutely know it before you do. You don't need to kick them while they are down. You don't need to state the obvious. No, you don't. You wait for them to contemplate, to think it through, and then you have that coach-student chat. Yeah, it's then. It's maybe the next day or maybe a couple of hours later, whenever you think is appropriate, because it's then that they will take in the message. They've already known that their performance was less than what they would like, and they've already probably gone through a little bit of anger themselves. And so maybe let them sleep on it, folks. And then it's the next morning or sometime the next day that you have that chat. So then you can get into the learnings. That's right, get into the learnings. What have you learnt from what happened yesterday? Yeah, that's where I think the ABI has benefited me, where I can take stock and just take my time and ensure that I strategically am assertive with the athletes I coach, but even in general life, when I'm having discussions with people now, sometimes I pause and don't even acknowledge people these days. And that's probably the time when I figure that it's best not to say what's on my mind, because what might pour out might make matters worse. Yeah, I've developed this saying, which I think is absolutely correct, and that is, don't make a bad situation worse. And I have applied that philosophy in recent times. And I truly believe it's because I'm working very hard with wrestling this ABI and all of the brain activity that's going on. And in wrestling very hard, I have learnt to listen and learn from the listings of what's going on with my brain, and picking and choosing the time when to be assertive, even when to be angry, because you know something, there is a place for anger. There is. But it's got to be at the right time, the right place, and the right subject matter. And I am learning that every single day now that I'm battling this ABI. And I think it is making me a more considered person, a better person. And I think it's actually helping me with every sphere of my life, not just as a coach, but also here at headquarters. I mean, there was a time where in doing these podcasts, if things had have went wrong with the producer, there would have been a blow up. Yeah, that's right. There would have been a blow up. I would have got very, very anxious and angry and uptight. But now, if something occurs during one of these broadcasts, it's more a matter of shutting up, lips together, and talk about it when the time is right. Because when something like that happens, we both know that it's not something that we would prefer, and we've both got a little bit of anxiety going on. So for me to state the bleeding obvious, how would that help the situation? It's a matter then where I'm more likely these days, once again, just to take our time, settle down, relax, and come back to the learnings maybe the following day, maybe the following podcast, therefore. And I think it makes for better podcasts, doesn't it, if I come into these episodes in a more relaxed manner? I mean, even this morning, I was not feeling good. I have had a bang on my head. In fact, I've had a couple of bangs lately, and my wonderful support worker is pushing the message about making sure that I wear my safety helmet that I've got for exactly that reason, to deal with the ABI and the possible falls that might occur. And I have had a couple lately, and I haven't felt all that good this morning. So I've actually waited. I've waited an hour or so until I felt I was on top of things. And this is the episode right now that you're getting the benefit of, when I've settled enough to put together something which is coherent for you, for me, and for anyone who's listening out there in the world who might benefit from this broadcast. So I suppose the takeaway message today is that when you are confronted with a new challenge, a new battle, that's the time to develop some new skills, some new qualities. And in doing so, you might find that through that battle, through that experience, you become an even better person. I mean, I don't know. I don't run around asking people, am I better now that I've got the ABI than when it was situation normal? I don't know. I don't think that that's a question that I should be asking. I think it's more something that should be obvious to everyone around me as we go along. But I would like to think that I have worked very hard to become a better person each and every day, given my new experience. And that's what it is, folks. It's a new experience, and it's an experience that I'm probably going to live with for the rest of my life. So I'd better keeping on, and I'd better not only keeping on, I better get better. Yeah, what do you think? And that will give me a very good reason to get up each and every day feeling great about the challenge ahead and knowing that I am getting better and developing new skills. And that is precisely what I'm working on. And so, yes, I do truly believe that no matter what the challenge, it is an absolute opportunity to build a brand new